Okay, this is the Callfire leads spreadsheet in Google Sheets that I sent to you. Basically, here you have the contact number, the time that they contacted us, and the date. And then over here is information I've input, which I'll explain in a minute. These numbers all came from an online database where people called in responding to postcards that were sent out last year. So what happened is City Property Solutions sent out postcards trying to find houses for sale last year, and throughout the year people responded to those postcards at whatever time they responded in this column here, time and day, and all we have to go by is their phone number. It was so long ago that people don't remember us sending postcards. They don't remember calling us back. So you're pretty much going to be treating these like completely cold calls. And when you call, you're basically just going to say something like, "Hi, my name is Ashley. I'm with City Property Solutions, and we're looking to buy some new properties in the Baltimore area. Were you considering selling?" And they'll either say yes or no. And then if they say no, you can say why. And then enter dead lead over here because they don't have any property for sale, or they want you to take them off of your list. If you leave a message, then you can put that over here, LM. If I can catch their name, I usually put that on there so I know that when I call them back, I know who I'm asking for, since we don't have names. So if they do have property for sale, though, what I like to do, and here I'll go all the way down to the bottom where I have, okay, an empty space. So say I'm on the phone with somebody, and I call them like, "Hi, I'm Ashley with City Property Solutions. We're looking to buy some new property in Baltimore, and we're wondering if you had anything available for sale." And he says, "Yes, I do." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, could you tell me a little bit more about the property?" And then he'll go on talking. Here I am typing in the time and date, 9:34 a.m. He'll go on talking about the property. "Oh, it's at 3306 Pool Street." Oops. And I'm typing in information while he's talking. It's at 3306 Pool Street. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. I got tenants in there right now. And then you say, "Oh, are they on a month-to-month lease or are they on an annual lease?" Month-to-month is what he says. So you type that in. And you're like, "Okay, well, can you tell me a little bit about the condition of the property?" And he says, "Oh, it has, it needs new carpet. There's hardwoods underneath. And the kitchen was redone 5 years ago. We painted the cabinets." Or they painted the cabinets. That's what you would type. And you just actively listen and type in everything that he says. Try to dig for information about how outdated the property might be, what kind of renovation needs to be done. He might just say, "Oh, it's in good condition," and then you might need to ask him, "Well, what do you mean by good condition? Could you tell me a little bit about like the flooring and the cabinetry and all that kind of stuff?" And then he'll go on and tell you more about the property, hopefully. You want to ask them to everything that was on the list for the Podio lead app that we looked at. You want to ask them how much they're wanting for the property, how you can get access to the property. So you can say, "Sir, if we could offer you cash and close on any date that you wanted, how much would you take for the property, your lowest price?" And he might say $35,000. So you can just type that in there real quick. You say, "Okay, well, do you still owe anything on it?" And you want it to sound more like a conversation than an interrogation. So just kind of let the conversation flow, kind of let them lead the way, but ask questions. And so you ask him if he owes anything on it, and he'll say yes or no. Sometimes they say, oh, well, I don't feel like I need to disclose that information. It doesn't matter. And you just say, okay. You don't want to argue with them or anything. But do try to get a cash price out of them. And then, of course, you want to know about the tenants. You want to know about the condition. You want to know about the price. You want to know the address, but you want to get their name from them. So we have it to put in Podio because clearly here we don't have the name. So you want to ask for it, and he says it's Pete. And you say, oh, okay, Pete, what's your last name? And then he'll say Sanders, whatever it is. And then another question that you're going to want to ask, let's go look at one of these real quick. Oh, why are you selling? That is a good question because that can help us with our bargaining position. If they're in a super huge hurry to sell because it's an estate and they just don't want the hassle anymore, then that's going to mean they're going to probably want to sell it ASAP. But you can ask them, well, how soon are you looking to get rid of it? And then they'll tell you ASAP or, well, I'm not in a rush. And there's an option for that in Podio too, as you've seen. Let's see. If they do have tenants, you want to ask them how much rent they're getting. If the property is listed with an agent, that's going to be important information because it's kind of hard for us to buy it at a low price if it's listed with an agent because, well, most of the time they're under contract. And if anybody sells it, the agent gets a commission, which is quite a bit of money most of the time. So we want to avoid trying to pay commissions. And then we talked about the mortgage. We talked about the cash price. How do we gain access to the property? That's going to be another big question. And usually it's going to be to just, call Pete or whoever owns the property. But sometimes they're like, well, I have a property manager that takes care of the property. And maybe you need to speak with him to get access to the property. So property manager has key. Or maybe there's a lockbox on the door or something if it's listed. But if it's listed, you can go ahead and put all the information in there anyway, and then let Kristen and Terry decide whether it's going to be a working lead or not, because ultimately it is up to them. It's not up to us. So that's kind of what you're going to do. Now that you have all that information, you can basically just take it and copy that right there that you have, and you're going to say allow access, and then you can go. And I automatically put them in the master leads because this is somebody we've already contacted and it's somebody that has a property for sale. And you would just say add master lead sheet. And then I go down to the property description and I paste all the information from that spreadsheet in there, right there. And then I go back and get the phone number and I enter all the information that I had here, and I would call this Callfire, just like that, and first attempt. And then I could go and enter all this information that I have here.